Everybody. I am Kathleen Enright, and I'm so pleased to be here with you all. We are ready to have a conversation with U.S. Secretary of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona. And we are just so pleased to be pulling this together with our partners, Hispanics in Philanthropy and Grantmakers for Education. And we're just so thrilled that you have made time to be with us. You know, the Council's core purpose is to ensure that philanthropy is a trusted partner in advancing the greater good. So conversations just like this one, where we're connecting philanthropy to federal agencies and doing so alongside our peers, is just a real priority for the Council. So we're just so proud to bring this esteemed group together to learn more about the department's priorities and its initiatives, particularly their focus on Latino and Latina students. And we're so excited to continue to develop this relationship moving forward. I want to say again how grateful we are to our partners, Hispanics in Philanthropy and Grantmakers for Education. Their deep expertise and experience and networks are going to enable whatever plans get started in this room together to turn into action after this event. And of course, the main act, Secretary Cardona, is what we're all here to participate in. And but before we move on to that, I wanted to give a moment for our partner, Ana Marie Argilagos, to say a few words. She is the president and CEO of Hispanics in Philanthropy. And I will let her share a bit about HIP's excellent work, as well as her connection to the administration and her federal partnership work.
Thank you, Kathleen. I'm beyond excited to be here with you today. I really appreciate your amazing leadership at Council on Foundations. It's been a great and amazing collaboration with you and all your team. Delighted to see all of the funders and partners here on the Zoom call today. It's really inspiring to have you here. I bring you greetings from the Hispanics in Philanthropy Board and staff. I'm especially personally excited to be here today because last fall, President Biden announced his intention to nominate me to the President's Advisory Commission on Advancing Hispanic Educational Excellence, Equity, and Economic Opportunity. And so this commission, which will focus on advancing educational equity as well as economic opportunity for our communities, is so important. And what I learned today, I will be bringing to that role as well. So it's a twofer here. It's really important before we go on that I lift up that under President Biden and the Department of Education, there have been historic investments for students, for teachers, and all of the vital support systems that we need so that we can recover from the pandemic and reemerge stronger. These historic investments are available for all communities to tap into, and they're all easily available. So I want to make sure that we know how to do that. This public funding is historic, and it presents a really important opportunity for foundations, for all funders to really step it up, to leverage these dollars, because we always need very important match dollars. We always need leveraging. There's things that are left on the table that the federal dollars cannot do that only philanthropy can do. So this is an important opportunity for us to understand how to put it together and bring to and pull together holistic strategies so that we can continue fighting on inequity and to fight for the future of our students. So with that, on behalf of Hispanics in Philanthropy, the Council Foundations, Grantmakers for Education, we want to extend our gratitude to Secretary Cardona for joining us on this charla today. It's not a one-off. It's not just today. It's going to be continuing collaboration with the Department of Education, continuing talks. And with that, pa'lante, and back to you, Kathleen. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, you are just doing such incredible work in your own organization and connecting to the administration, which you have been an alumni inside the federal government. So it's terrific that you bring that expertise to us in philanthropy. So before we introduce the secretary, I also wanted to make a special introduction of our other partner, Ulcca, Dr. Ulcca Joshi Hansen, who is the Co-Interim Executive Director of Grantmakers for Education, which is the largest forum of education philanthropy with nearly 300 members. We are going to hear from Dr. Hansen right after Secretary Cardona speaks. She is going to moderate the Q&A, and so we're very excited to have you as a partner, Ulcca, and look forward to hearing from you in a little bit.
Thank
You want
you.
to wave? See, everybody knows who you are. There you are. Great. And so before I do introduce the secretary, I also want to just give a special recognition to Shital Shah, who's the Senior Advisor for Strategic Partnerships at the Department of Education, without whom this event would not be happening. She leads private sector partnerships and development, including for the corporate sector and philanthropic organizations, to make sure that they're lining up with the secretary's priorities. So she, along with Stephanie Powers from the council and our colleagues at HIP, pulled this together. And so thank you very much for being our partner, Shital. So now to the main conversation you all came here for, which is we're so thrilled to be joined today by Dr. Miguel Cardona, who became the 12th Secretary of Education in 2021 after a distinguished career as an elementary school teacher, a principal, a district administrator, and as the Commissioner of Education in Connecticut. Clearly, the themes of partnership and equity are run straight through his career, and he is a firm believer that being an educator is not a job, it is an extension of your life's purpose. So it is with great pride that I welcome you, Secretary Cardona. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. Happy to be with you, all of you. Ana Marie, congratulations. Look forward to working with you on as you work on the advisory board, and Ulcca, I look forward to the conversation. And as was mentioned earlier, you know, this isn't a one-off. You'll hear what I'm asking for today is a relationship. So it's really, really an honor for me to be here with you. I too want to shout out Shital. If you don't know Shital, get to know Shital. She's amazing. You know, she really understands the vision we have for creating an infrastructure of interdependence. And this is an opportunity for us to really kick it off in a way that's done like we've never done it before. I really want to thank the Council on Foundations. I want to thank the Hispanics in Philanthropy and Grantmakers for Education for making this conversation possible. It's not often that we get this many funders in a room at the same time to have a real conversation about the issues that are impacting our children, our families, and communities. You are the A team of impact in education, and I'm really dating myself there. But the reality is, look, we learned from the pandemic that we have to work intentionally with folks that maybe different organizations are not aligned to work with in their design. We have to break that. We have to break those silos. We safely reopened schools quickly because we thought out of the box and we worked together with a collective shared goal of reopening our schools safely. Now I'm asking us to do that as we raise the bar. Last week, I spoke about my priorities for raising the bar in education. It was really clear that this administration is, you know, as long as I'm secretary, we're not going to be rolling out any big initiatives with clever names, no quick fixes, no shiny silver bullets, no quick fixes in education. I've been in education over 25 years. Instead, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently because I know in those 25 years, there are no quick fixes. There's a metaphor I've been using for years. And, you know, I say that in many ways in education, we've fancied shiny tools that serve as the icing and the sprinkles on a cake. But if you look under the frosting, the cake is not good. From a distance, it's shiny, it's pretty. There's nice sprinkles on it, it's enticing. But when you look deeper, very little emphasis was placed on the batter or what the cake is made of. What's most important? You eat the cake because it tastes good, not because it looks shiny or fancy. What we need is substance, not sensationalism. What we're talking, you know, and I use that metaphor to talk about a quality batter for a quality education, right? That applies to philanthropy as well. It's really easy, you know, to give in to the temptation of funding something that's shiny or sexy, something that is dependent on the person that's asking for it. That's not good enough anymore. Funds don't last forever. And what we need to do, and I think where we can really come together and really shift what public-private partnerships look like, is creating sustainable systems for transformational change. Focus on the things that we know really matter. Backed by shifts in cultures and mindsets, right? If we create mindsets, if we create shared goals, they're going to outlast us in our roles, and they're going to be sustained as part of the culture of districts and states. So to get there, we're going to be focusing on a few key areas where we need to step up our collective will to raise the bar. The first of these is academic excellence. You can help by helping us build those systems that might include greater access to financial literacy, to high quality instructional materials, and the arts as a part of a well-rounded education. You know, when I talk about the batter of a cake, if our kids are not reading, and if they're not able to comprehend complex math by the end of high school, then the batter is not good. Then we're creating, we're sustaining a system that is focusing good with after-school tutoring or summer school programming, but the core part of the education is not where it needs to be for all of our students to find success. In this country, we've normalized that not all of our students are having a well-rounded education and prepared for the next step. Next, we're going to raise the bar for better learning conditions. That means building safe, welcoming, inclusive school environments, prioritizing high-quality professional development for all personnel, and investing in comprehensive wraparound services. We raise the bar when we fortify the teacher pipeline. I call it the ABCs of teaching. So if we can provide better agency for teachers to listen to their voice and respect what they're saying, because they know these kids, they know the community. Agency, better working conditions, which is better professional development, better opportunities for career growth. And then C, so we got ABC, agency, better working conditions, competitive salaries. We got to stop being shy about saying that a teacher with a master's degree halfway through her career should not be qualifying for food stamps. We also need to build capacity to diversify the teacher pipeline. Right now, there's a huge disconnect. The evidence is clear. Teachers of color have a real positive impact on students of color, and all students. The data is real. It's not just anecdotal. Graduation rates improve. Discipline rates, exclusionary practices drop. Dropout rates improve. But the reality is Black and Latino teachers remain underrepresented in the profession, making up only 7% and 9% of the teacher workforce respectively. That's unacceptable. When we talk about raising the bar here, we're talking about raising the bar for pathways, for career success and global competitiveness. Look, I don't want to compare ourselves to where we were 2 years ago. I want our country to lead the world. That's not too much to ask for this country of wealth and opportunity. I want to make sure that we have dual enrollment courses and micro credentials for the jobs of today and tomorrow. Our high schools should provide students who are really ambitious an opportunity to get an associate's degree before you cross the stage and get your high school degree. We need to create more opportunities for our students to be multilingual in this country. Ya es tiempo de aprender otro idioma. Look, I was in France last month, 2 months ago, and we were one of the few countries where it's almost like we're proud to be monolingual. How are we going to compete internationally if we're not promoting multilingualism and respecting multiculturalism as our DNA? In all these areas, we already know what it'll take to do right by our students. We know what works. We know what the quality batter looks like in education. And here together right now, we have more expert bakers than ever, and special ingredients that your organizations can bring. My ask to you today is, let's build a relationship. Let's establish shared goals around shared values. Let's have open channel of communication so this is not a one and done. Tell us what's working. Tell us what we're doing well. And I appreciate the mention about how we're providing more funding in education, or we're doing more to make higher education more accessible. But tell us what we need to focus on too. I want this to be reciprocal. Let's focus on working together and building sustainable systems for the long term that can benefit most from philanthropy's investment in concrete actions, the batter for the cake. What I want to do too is just model for states that if we can work collaboratively with philanthropy around shared goals, I expect that in my states. I expect that in my district. It might look like technical assistance and public-private partnerships that help a school district create a new after-school program. It might look like working with districts to create an infrastructure in that district to promote public-private partnerships. Because the reality is, and you know this better than I do, oftentimes it's somebody's add-on to their job. And it can't be that way if we're serious about working together into the future. It could look like convening organizations, school districts, and institutes of higher ed to develop strategies to recruit and retain educators and implement those strategies. Earlier this morning, I was talking to a governor who was saying, I was pushing a little bit about making sure that we recognize that, if you want to diversify the profession, come up with a game plan on how you're going to pay student teachers. You can't talk about wanting more teachers of color, recognizing that in many cases, they can't work for 4 months for free. Your input might be supporting research that reinforces the benefits of multilingual education for students. Communities of practice to help educators implement best practices for accelerating learning in reading and math. Providing pathways and support for districts to create sustainable models that outlast the superintendent for creating creative pathways for teachers to lead and learn. Look, there's so much we can do together as we raise the bar in education. We need your special ingredients. We need your input. We need your experience. We all know the American Rescue Plan is not going to be around forever. That was a down payment on transformational change. We have the opportunity now, before we run out of ARP, to really set the stage to make sure that people understand what it's going to need to continue to raise the bar in education. This moment matters, and we're counting on you. I know that together we're stronger than separate, and I look forward to not only engaging with you and learning from you, but partnering with you about those things that we know work for students, to model it across the country. I know together we can raise the bar. Thank you.